So, welcome to another episode of Library Finds, backed by no demand whatsoever. Today I'll be looking at a piece from one of my favorite directors slash purveyors of smut, Alejandro Jodorowsky, in his 1989 cult film Santa Sangre, or Holy Blood for all you gringos. So let's dive on in. So the film revolves around Phoenix, played by one of Jodorowsky's youngest sons, Adan Jodorowsky. A boy raised by his lecherous father, who's the ringleader of his own circus, and his mother, who's the ringleader of a cult that worships a girl who had her arms cut off after being brutally raped. So all in all, your typical normal family. Till his mother catches his father in the act and douses his nuggets with acid, who in turn cuts off her arms, only to commit suicide in front of him. So as you can see, this is a pretty lighthearted tale, in the same vein as, say, John Hughes. So flash forward a bit, and Phoenix is in an insane asylum before being released by his mother, who then takes him in and does her best to keep him away from living a, quote, life of sin, which basically means murdering any girl that wants a piece of his 10-inch python. So yeah, this movie's not your typical summer blockbuster. Even though it's an artsy film, it never really tries too hard to come off as one. It's weird, but still coherent in its own weirdness. Honestly, I don't want to go too deeply into the subject matter and symbolism because it's one of those things you should really watch in order to get the full experience and make your own assumptions. But the one message that I got out of it was how various societal structures shape us in our different stages of life. How organized religion can both harm and heal in our time of need. Which is one thing I enjoyed about a lot of Jodorowsky's films. He has a very down-to-earth nature about him, and he isn't afraid to explore the more darker sides of humanity in a very comedic way. Just like life isn't always beautiful, art isn't always beautiful. This movie also parallels a lot with Jodorowsky's own childhood and as a circus performer, the actual abuse that he faced from his own mother, which led to him having quite the misogynistic streak when it came to how he portrayed women in his films.
Three-dimensional, and it's very real. But the women in your film seem less satisfying. They seem quite two-dimensional.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Because I hate the woman. I hate my mother. I hate all the women I had. Maybe I was a non-realized homosexual. I don't believe that. But I was very misogyn. In this society, I have the right to hate women, as women have the right to hate man. And in this society, almost the woman hate man. All the man almost hate woman. And the woman also is never the hero in the picture. You are giving a candy to women. But the reality is you hate women in art. Now I don't hate women anymore.
He then went on to say that after he finished Santa Sangre, it was kind of like going back from a therapy session. He was able to move on from his hatred of women. Phoenix is also roughly based off of real-life spree killer Gregorio Carnardes Hernandez, who Jodorowsky encountered back in a back alley bar in Mexico prior to his committal. This movie's shot so well, it really hasn't aged too badly. I especially love the use of practical effects that range from believable to just plain cheesy. But it's a good kind of cheese. Kind that just doesn't get old and dated as compared to a lot of stuff you see nowadays. While the acting in the movie is pretty decent for what I think is a dubbed film, with a lot of the actors being either related to Jodorowsky or just random people he found off the street. The characters are very archetypal, especially his childhood friend Alma, who kind of represents a missing piece of his innocence. Especially very beautiful near the ending, where he finally reconnects with that lost piece that he was looking for, that you could just never really find. So there's not really much more to say about this movie. If you're looking for a wild ride to the mind of a demented man's psyche, or just looking to look at random nonsense, or a little bit of both, I say check it out. Really interesting. Just be careful who you watch it with. Might get some triggering action going on. So I guess I'll see you guys later. Just hoping that my channel doesn't get taken down for copyright strike now.